or something.
Probably
I'm guessing.
live now.
Yeah.
There you go.
I gotta put my nose on this new.
Still
We're
not
live.
showing up. That's weird.
We're live. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first live college football broadcast on the new channel, maybe? Question mark. I don't know if that's an actual statistic, but I'm going to pretend like it is because it's a fun factoid. We have here today the #1 team in the nation, the Oregon Ducks, but the new look Oregon Ducks who just stopped sharing their screen, and now it's back up. The #1 Oregon Ducks, coached by Turf Tech, and the #9 Ohio State. I almost called them the Bobcats. The Buckeyes, coached by Captain Dead Dad, as always, and Riley has left the party. And Riley has joined the party. We're having some technical difficulties as Riley loads in for both of us. Pablo's going to be sidelined today because he felt like being lazy, but I'll drag him in here for his pregame interview. Who do you got winning this one?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the Oregon Ducks.
Oh, that's it. We don't get no.
You said you asked me who's gonna win. I told you who I
Okay,
thought was
you know
gonna win.
what? I'm glad you're doing the bare minimum today, Pablo. We're really striving for excellence here in Hennessy Performance League.
Right.
Yeah. So Riley's back. Talk to us about this matchup and who you got winning.
I mean, I haven't seen Oregon play, obviously, other than with their previous user, but I personally played Ohio State, and they were tough matchups, so, I mean, they'd have to be my pick.
Yeah. I'm going to go Oregon by 3. I think their slightly better defense is going to give them the edge here in a rather defensive game. I also took on Ohio State, and, well, it was an offensive shootout at first, but then our defense was able to shut them down in the second half. So we'll look to see which defense can succeed.
Might have to reset my PlayStation because I can still not see the share screen.
Oh boy. We lost some good technical difficulties as Ohio State coming out in their All Blacks. It's a night game. He also wore the blacks against me. I wonder if that's just becoming a popular choice for the Buckeyes as they hit the field looking to defend their home stadium against the Oregon Ducks. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be watching this for a potential scouting report on Turf Tech, the new Oregon user, the new and improved Oregon user, I might add. So the Buckeyes will boot the ball to start us off. Kick is up, and it will not be run out of the end zone. Oregon will get this ball at the 25. We'll see. I mean, these are going to be familiar names, but we're going to see how they play today as Lanning now is the QB's name. Lanning going to hand off to Swift, breaking around the outside on the left side. Gets met after a gain of 7 and bring up 2nd and 3. And 2nd and 3. Ohio State boasts the #1 ranked stadium in the country to play at. Swift up the gut, only gets a gain of 1. Going to bring up 3rd and short here. Can the Buckeyes force the Ducks off the field? I believe the Buckeyes are fighting a infinity losing streak against the Ducks. I don't know if Ohio State's ever beat Oregon in HPL, so they're looking to get that monkey off of their back in this one. Lanning, RPO out to the right. Jen, the third, picks up a block, makes a man miss before he's pulled down at the 42, and that'll be good enough for a first down for the Oregon Ducks.
And we are back. Actually works now.
All right, well, you haven't missed much. Oregon picked up a down on their first set of downs. To see Lanning dropping back to throw, looking, going to go over the middle of Christopher. Christopher pushed over to the 50, down to the 48.
Gotta love those tight end drag routes or whatever that was.
Okay. Lanning. RPL will hand Swift. Swift breaking up the middle. Swift gets another gain of 7. Oregon's been able to work that running game with Swift pretty successfully here early. And Ohio State's going to try to come out in something more run-friendly. They're going to stack the box, but that's Bamba back there. He'll get the handoff and pull down after getting 1. Bring up another 3rd and short.
Curious to see if they'll get Lanning involved on the run game, because I know he's a pretty fast quarterback there.
Yeah. Lanning, formerly known as Daquan Dimes, for those of you who are just confused. It is the same player, different name. So bring up a 3rd and short. Lanning will hand to Swift. Swift's in trouble. Brought down in the backfield. That is Dominic Nichols, the junior out of Maryland. Big play. And Oregon looks like they'll keep the offense out here on 4th and 5.
Yeah, I think I agree with this call, especially at the 43. I mean, I don't really like punting it here, and it's 4th and 5. I'd say that's pretty reasonable to go for it.
Yeah, I probably would go for it here too. Lanning. He will drop back to throw. Looking. Knocked down at the line. And Ohio State's the stop. Batted away by the defensive tackle. Looked like he had a man open downfield. He tries to hit that drag route again. And a nice play to get a hand on that one at the line. And Ohio State takes over at midfield. So let's do the Buckeyes' first play from scrimmage. Sellers dropping back, going deep. Does he have him? He does. Graham on the sideline. A big play to follow up that 4th down stop. And Ohio State's in the red zone.
I remember that play when I played Ohio State. This is definitely one that's going to burn you deep. You have to be careful.
Sellers on the option. Pitches to Pitts. Can he be brought down? Breaks 1 tackle, but just tripped up by the next guy. Loss of 4. Bo Nix in on the stop. The middle linebacker. The young freshman. Not to be the former quarterback of the Oregon Ducks. He gets that a lot, I'm sure. 2nd and 14. Sellers going to drop back to throw again. Looking. Has good coverage, and he's going to take the drag for a gain of 6. I'll bring up 3rd and 8.
Big 3rd down here for Ohio State. I mean, if you get this, that's going to be a huge momentum boost.
Sellers says 1692 on the year for 17 touchdowns. So he's having a decent season. His final year in I would say the red and white, but they're wearing black. Sellers on the rollout, takes the drag, and he's going to get pulled down. Only a gain of a yard. So 4th and 7, what do we see here? It'll be field goal team for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the right call here.
Not an easy angle to kick this from. We'll see what the kicker can do with it. Taking his time. Clock's running down, and is he just gonna? Yeah, he's gonna take a delay of game. I think that might be a strategical call there to try to maybe make the kick a little easier.
Yeah, I guess it's not as tight of an angle, so I could see that.
And sure enough, it will pay off. The Buckeyes put it through the uprights and take a 3-0 lead off of the field goal. And Oregon have a chance to respond now. As you see, the number 1 receiver for each unit, Miles Graham, has boasts that 99 speed. They didn't get it to him in that first drive, so we'll see if they're able to get it to him as the night goes on. Swift gets the stretch handoff to the right. Swift with a good block, gets a gain of 6.
Yeah, I do agree with running the ball here. I think you got to get that going against Ohio State if you're going to want to be able to move the ball.
Lanning, play action fake. He's looking. Gonna go over the middle to Ginn again, and he gets a first down. I think it's Ginn, not Ginn. My apologies, but he gets it down to the 50. I just realized that he was probably named after Ted Ginn, the receiver. And Bamba Going to be blown up for a loss of 2, and that will probably take us to the end of quarter number 1. Garrett Stover in on the stop, and it will. See the Big Ten standings up there. Several teams still sitting at 2-0 in the. Oh, I gotta take this phone call.
A flag here, no idea what for. I don't know if that's a legal man downfield or what. And it is. That's very unfortunate. That happens every once in a while.
Yeah, it seems like I myself have that call happen to me a good bit on the RPO plays where the blockers get moving down the field. You can call for offensive pass interference or legal man downfield.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to avoid some of those where it's like that just to take away that risk. And there's a good out route there to the tight end. Third down and 2 here. Let's see what Oregon comes out in. 3 receivers. Decides to run it here and just gets stuffed. You gotta go for this though, I think, if you're Oregon. But, I mean, you see up the top right, severe wear and tear on Swift. I mean, you gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah. I mean, this is tough break right there. Trying to run it. Don't hate the call, but if you don't get it, you're in a tough spot right here.
He gets there. I mean, that was close. I mean, I thought he was gonna get stuffed, but sometimes the tight ends can just squeeze through there.
Yeah.
Might be some kind of wildcat or direct snap here. I think you gotta consider taking Swift out though, just to avoid an injury. I mean, you know how big of an impact he's had for
Yeah,
the
right.
Ducks this season.
It's like the Faison Bamba. Yeah, the Faison Bamba show.
Yeah, I mean, he's another solid guy. I mean, I think you might have to start going towards him a little bit. If you have to take out Swift, you just don't want to risk any injuries here. Just that Ohio State defensive line just completely stuffing this Oregon team.
Yeah.
In 3rd and 5, I mean, you gotta think can't run it again, surely. They don't.
Look at the quarterback with the speed.
Still mad I didn't get him in that recruiting class, but I mean, it is what it is. He's clearly having success here at Oregon. Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's just dominating that offensive line of Oregon. I mean, you really got to get the pass game involved here. Got to think.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Oregon throw the ball. I mean, how many forward passes have they had so far?
I don't even know. Doesn't seem like many. Just a couple play action. Another Wildcat here, and he's going to be in for the touchdown. 7-3 Oregon. Got one pass. I mean, if it works, I mean, nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
12 play drive. Don't see that often.
No. I mean, it's been a slow game so far.
Yeah.
Both teams just methodically moving their way down the field.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what Ohio State can do if they're going to be kind of really trying to quickly get down the field or if they're going to kind of play it slow and make this the last drive of the half. That holding, yeah. I mean, that's just a killer.
Hail State, doing the bare minimum, right? Like he's talking about me, but where's he at when the chips push the center of the table?
And he
Oh
just
my
overthrows
goodness.
them. Gotta make those throws.
Right, when the chips are pushed to the center of the table. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah. Big second down here. I mean, you gotta get some yardage here, and they get a couple. They get some more. Split it in half, basically. You gotta be careful here. You don't want to do anything crazy and turn the ball over.
Yeah. Hey, you're giving Oregon a shot right here to take a 2-possession lead after deciding not to challenge that. You're more than likely going to punt it.
Yeah, I mean, with a good return here, Oregon could be inside the 50. Or they're gonna
Or not.
pretend to go for it. I don't really know what's happening here. Surely that
Yeah.
was a mistake, or he didn't know it was fourth down. Kind of speechless after that call.
Calls were made, but hey.
Just I don't know. Only thing I can think is he just wanted Oregon to score fast so that he could get the ball back. But like, there's no guarantee Oregon scores, so I just don't agree if that was the
Yeah.
thought process there. I think if you're Oregon here, you got to start chewing that clock, just in case.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's almost a guarantee Oregon scores from here.
Yeah, you just don't
But
want to give it
from the
back to
punt,
Ohio State.
if he'd have punted, then no guarantee, but
Yeah, touchdown. That's just,
he had his own thoughts. Right.
I mean, the crowd at Ohio State's just, they're not happy. They're calling for the coaches to be fired, and I can't blame them. I think before the third quarter, I think we need a quick interview from the Ohio State coach just to explain the thought process on that
Yeah,
fourth down
like a
call.
halftime
Yeah, just like a little interview.
interview. Agree.
I mean, at this point, you gotta score, I think. I mean, you could get away with 3, but you gotta do something after giving up 7 right there. That's a great start there. I mean, still got 2 timeouts, 33 seconds left on the 42. I mean, you got plenty of time to get at least a field goal here, but you'd really like to get a touchdown. And he's wide open if he can hit him.
And
He
he hit him.
does, and it's
Touchdown.
touchdown.
Maybe it was brilliant, right?
I mean, he might have known what he was doing, but then again, Oregon's still got time to go get more points. I think if you're Oregon here, you want to get 3 knowing that Ohio State's getting the ball at half. That's got to be the mindset.
Yeah, but then again, last thing you want to do is turn the ball over.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta be low risk, high reward plays right here.
Yeah.
Quick little screen there. That's exactly what we're thinking. He's to the 50 already. In one
Yeah, that
play.
play does a job.
I mean, that's exactly the play call you need there. And now you have a chance. Tight throw and he just incomplete. Just a little behind him and just underthrown there, it looks like. Needed to lead him a little bit more. And I would have liked to see him throw that one away, just send everybody deep. I mean, he had an option there, but he was just going to be covered.
Yeah. It don't look like they're in field goal range yet, but they can get in field goal range without. Well, now I think the move is lob it up to the end zone. I would do. Just make sure you run out the 7 seconds.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think you're at risk of a Ohio State field goal unless you did like an instant sack, but I think you got to get it in the end zone. He's wasting that time. He gets it up, and it's dropped by Ohio State, and then we have halftime.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring in the Ohio State head coach. Or
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to get his thoughts on that 4th down call.
catching dead dad.
Yes.
Can we have the thought behind the 4th down call?
I mean, it was just a matter of trying to get the 4th down. Obviously, we were in our own territory. It was a little bit dangerous, but ran the odds, figured it was worth it, and we still ended up within a single score of them. So all works out in the end.
Yeah. It does.
Here we have 1st and 10 for Ohio State. Let's see what they can do here. He's gonna roll out to the right, make a guy miss. He's gonna run upfield and get the 1st down. Solid run by Sellers. RPO here, gets it out.
Uh-oh.
And can he make a one-man miss? And he just gets killed. I mean, this is exactly the start you wanted as Ohio State. I mean, you get a little quick 1st down and you get another 20. Can't complain with that.
Yeah. You see him getting there.
And he's got him again.
Open space touchdown.
And just, I mean, you might have to adjust those corners that's on these guys. I mean, he's just getting burnt. Was that the 2nd time? Really the 3rd time, but one of them was incomplete, obviously. But just
Yeah.
can't have that if you're Oregon. You can't make it easy. See what Oregon comes out with. Obviously, last drive they were pretty run heavy. Let's see if that changes.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't know if that was
It's
a
a
play
risky-
call. I mean, you got to know Ohio State's expecting a run with what they've already done, and then just, I mean, that likely leads to man coverage. You just got to be careful on those little screens and passes like that are short. And there's another great stop by Ohio State. You've got to
Yeah,
get the
Ohio
ball
State
downfield.
stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, they just knew what they were doing on both of those plays. Then you're forced in a 3rd and long, and I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. There's a deep and just desperation. The user takes it back inside the 30, down at the 26. I mean, just can't have that if you're Oregon.
You just gotta wonder, where is TTV Hell State?
Solid run up the middle by Ohio State. I mean, I think at this point, probably after you score this, you're in cruise control. I mean, because I mean, you know you can stop Oregon, especially with that last drive. You know they love to run the ball.
Yeah.
He just
Oh goodness.
he just runs right in the middle. No hole there. He just makes it a hole. So I mean, it's just tough to stop when you got a player like that. Second and 1 here at the 2. Got a read option here, and it just gets blown up completely. Ohio State obviously wants to get this in the end zone. Let's see if they can. Running back gets stuck, and it's just nothing there. Oregon pressure gets there.
Yeah, that's something to monitor with Ohio State is when you see AJ Pitts locked up on a. I mean, if you lock up AJ Pitts, then I mean that's really the main source of offense for this team. Besides the deep balls today, I don't know how much of that you see usually, but
Yeah, I mean, I know by experience playing Ohio State, you have to stop AJ Pitts. If you don't do that, you're not winning the game. And Oregon has not done that, so they're going to have to find something out if they can score here. They're going to have to stop Ohio State.
yeah.
Quick little RPO there. Gotta love those to start. I like that move though to get away from the run. It's just clearly it's not been working. You don't want to force it if it hasn't been, so gotta try to do something different. But probably don't want to do it 2 times in a row. But Ohio State they were just ready for it.
Yeah, the Ohio State defense is showing out right now.
Yeah, the stadium pulse going crazy, and it's just nothing there. I mean, he might could have got it out, but that Tyler Walton was just there ready for it. And I think on this, I mean, you obviously want to go for it, but do you consider punting this? You're on your own 29, and you haven't really been able to move the ball.
You consider it. I think, well, now you gotten it, but this Oregon offense has got to throw the ball like forward. It seems like it's a pretty one-dimensional offense with just straight RPOs and runs.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously going to be the strength of Lanning. I mean, he's not much of a deep ball guy. He's going to be more of the short routes option with all that speed. But do you consider bringing in a different quarterback? I know they have somebody else that's a little bit better with the deep balls. I mean, you got to think about it.
I would say Well, it looks like, I mean, if he makes those like that, I'm keeping him in.
I mean, he had a couple guys. I mean, he had a guy over the middle and the guy in the corner, so good separation by the Oregon receivers on that play. Good ball, and he drops it. I mean, it looked like he was right hands. I mean, a little high. You gotta hold on to those. 10 brings back the running game and just gets stuffed. I mean, 7 for 20 is just not been there today. And when it's like that, it makes it so much harder to move the ball. Big third down here. I mean, and they get it. Quick little slant over the middle. Yeah, I mean, I was about to say, I mean, you couldn't have been mad with the field goal there, but now, I mean, if you're at the 8, you really got to be thinking just touchdown. You want to get this lead here. First down is just a running game. Is just keeps getting stuffed. I mean, Ohio State's just ready for it every time, it seems like. This linebacker's just getting free, and Oregon line just does not have an answer for this defense.
I'm back. Forgot to unmute myself. I was saying that seems like when Bomb is in, the Ducks have a hard time moving the ball on the ground. Oh, Gins in the end zone. Big touchdown for the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, you really needed that play there. I mean, get some momentum, and now you're about to get a lead on Ohio State. And obviously, I've had a little bit of trouble stopping them, but it's not a bad time to start.
Yeah. They've held Ohio State field goal twice before, and you got to think if you do hold them to 3, that's not necessarily the end of the world. But giving up 6 here, well, it all depends on the clock, right? It all depends on how well Ohio State can work this clock and try to kind of melt it down. Zeus Pitts gets the handoff and gets cut down after a gain of 7.
Yeah, I think if I'm Oregon here, my goal is to hold them to the field goal, and don't really mind them taking up a bunch of clock here, because if they get a field goal, I mean, all you need is a field goal. So.
Yeah, Sellers scramble through. Well, I mean, if you're Oregon, your goal is to get a stop and no points. But like we said, the point scoring is not the end of the world. But a minute off this clock, Ohio State's gained about 15, 16 yards. They're going to pick about 5 or 6 more of them here on the RPO.
Yeah, I mean, both teams really utilizing those RPOs today.
It's a thing of misdirection. Pitts pulled down after a gain of 1. Boy,
wear and tear.
The Ducks defensive unit has done a great job at limiting him from this game. We know he's been a vocal point of this Buckeyes offense ever since he stepped on campus. So we go 3rd and short. Oh, they're going to set up a screen for him. Pitts makes the grab. Fighting. Gets free. Breaks a tackle. First down, Ohio State. And that is why he has been a vocal point of this Buckeyes offense for his time here.
Backbreaker for Oregon there. I mean, you pretty much knew you had to stop, and he just breaks 2 tackles and just gets the first down there. And some lineup changes for Ohio State here. Don't know if they're taking Pitts out of the game or not. Looks like they are.
Pitts is taking a few shots in this game, and he took another one there. He seemed to be holding his shoulder after he came up off of that play, so they're going to get a look at him on the sideline. Obviously, they'd like to have him for the remainder of this game. as the clock's going to continue to draw closer to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, you definitely have to consider his long-term health. You can't have a guy like that get hurt.
Oh, well, Peoples, with a little bit of speed, gets a gain of 3, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's really done a great job of burning off this clock. To get it to the 2-minute warning that fast, I mean, you're in a great spot here.
Yeah. And depending on how comfortable you are with taking or kicking your field goals, you get 20 more yards or so, and you're sitting pretty to win this ball game and not even let Oregon touch the ball again.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you get a center field goal inside the 30, you'd be pretty happy about it.
Yeah, that's a big stop there. The linebacker dropping down to cover the safety valve, running back, and now a minute and a half left. This clock is still running.
You gotta consider if you don't
Sellers
get this.
rolling out, good coverage, throwing across body, and it's going to fall incomplete. And now Oregon has a shot to win the game here if they can get him off the field.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to go for this if you're Ohio State. As much as you would like to be able to know you can get the ball back, I mean, you're not going to, so you have to go for this.
And Paul, one of the best field goal kickers in the country, but he does not have this range in him. So we'll go 4th and 7 with the Buckeyes offense. Sellers dropping back, rolling, throwing to the running back, knocked away, incomplete.
Just not there. I mean, that route I don't think it was far enough out there to be able to get the first down anyways.
And now the Ducks are 10 yards away from victory, but Swift's going to be blown up there. Loss of 1 on the first play of the drive.
Oregon's really been committed to trying to run the ball, even though it keeps getting stuffed. I mean, I think at this point, you've got to throw this ball.
Well, they're going to run a little 5 wide here. Lanning. Pressure comes, the slant. He catches it and breaks a tackle.
Wow.
Christopher breaking free. Will
Did
he
you
go?
score?
All the way. He falls down at the 1. And that should do it. We were waiting for the big play for Christopher all game. And he makes the grab with the game on the line, fights off a man, and Oregon is going to defend their number 1 ranking in the polls with a big win here today in the Horseshoe against Ohio State.
Tell you, I almost thought he scored there, and that would have been a big mistake. But I mean, it was a great job to get down.
Ohio State going to call timeout, but there's no shot as long as Oregon comes out here, just knees it down. No need to get cute, try to score. And that will do it. Final score, Oregon 21, Ohio State 20. Coach Turf gets his first big win in his tenure here at Oregon University. We'll go to him, a lifelong Oregon fan himself. I'm sure it means a lot to you to get it done here over the Buckeyes. Talk to me about the outlook for the rest of the season, and do you think this should make a statement to the rest of the league?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty big game. Going on the road, can't really change any hot routes or anything, so it was pretty tough. I tried to stick to the run game as much as possible, and as you guys could tell, it wasn't really working. So I was trying to do some quick passes, and a couple of them I threw to the wrong button because I thought it was somebody else. So I knew he was going to come out and stop the run, so I knew I was going to have to come out and pass that last drive, and I got lucky that Christopher broke off there, and I knew not to score because why give him a chance to go up and tie it, so.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Riley and Pablo, you have questions?
I mean, no questions. Just a great job completing the win against Ohio State there, especially on the road. That's a tough task there.
Yeah, it was not fun playing in that environment.
All right, and Pablo, do you have a question? Do you even have a copy?
I kicked Pablo off my sideline, so he doesn't really have much from me.
Well, he's so useful. We'll go to Captain Dead Dad. Losing this game drops you down to 3 losses. And like I mentioned to Sauce after the DBJ game, for him, 3 losses is usually where we've seen that playoff bubble come into play for teams. Is there any worry concerning Ohio State that y'all might miss the playoffs for a second straight year?
No, not really in the slightest. I mean, last year was kind of a bit of a fluke where we missed it just because one bad game till the end of the season against USC. Not too worried about missing it this season, going for 3 losses. So.
All right, Riley.
Do you think the outcome of this game might have been different if you didn't go for it on that crucial fourth down inside your own 20?
To think about it, not really. No, I mean, we came out of the half. Yeah, we came out of the half actually stopping their run game. I don't think we would have been able to stop it in just that first half. I don't think I kind of really had the game plan figured out at that point. So I think it probably would have ended up the same. You might have seen, 2 less scores on each team. It would have been 14-13.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that will do it for this broadcast here today. I'm going to keep saying this is the first live show of the new YouTube channel. So welcome back to the HPL. I think we're just calling it HPL channel. For Riley, for Pablo, I'm Hail State signing off from Columbus.